Good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness with myself, Anne Regovich, and the other one.
Hi, I'm Renata Daniel.
And we are ghost hunters and right into everything paranormal, as you do. Sorry, Renata, I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. You just said what I was going to say. That's fine.
Yep. I'll throw to you now. I hate this not being in the same room. So we are separated because we are still in lockdown because of COVID. So Renata's off in her home with the beautiful old backdrop that I used to have, which is very purple and makes it look like a boudoir, and the ghost in the corner. And I'm here at home with our usual set with Spencer and Harry in the background. Yeah.
Yes.
So what we're talking about today.
Yeah, we actually don't know how much longer this is going to last because, yeah, you know how things are. Hello, Jodie. Hello, Maxine. And so, yeah, we're just doing our best with what we have. Let us know where you're from, guys, everyone that's joining. Seeing a lot of our local people coming on. Thank you, guys, for your continued support, which we so appreciate. Absolutely. But yeah, look, let us know where you're from because it's always a bit of a buzz, not only to see the locals, but to see all of those from the other side of the globe joining us.
And look, there's Patrick.
It's always a bit of a
Oh,
buzz.
she's left it on. Say hello to Patrick.
Hello, Patrick.
I was waiting for the reaction. So, Patrick, we think we're going to have to be in America in the end of March next year. So, look out for us. Hi, Brent. So today we've got a bit of fun. We're doing Pareidolia, and I always like to muck around with words, and I called it Pareidolia, and I've actually found a good photo just before we started to add into the slide. Oh, Missouri! Now we know where he is, Renata. We can go stalk him.
Excellent.
And everyone check out Patrick's podcast, The Big Seance. That's I got it right, didn't I? The Big Seance podcast.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing my Doctor Who theme on my Theramini, Patrick. We'll have to compare notes, see how we're going. Central Coast, snowy mountains. It'll be cold there at the moment. North Lakes. Well, Renata's never been, so it's not a comeback for Renata. It's an arrival. The land will never be the same.
Absolutely.
Oh, here's Marilyn from across the oceans.
We can't wait to see you, Patrick. You've been such a wonderful person to meet, to get to know.
Look, there's one for you, Renata. I'm from Stockton. Please come over to the Gladstone Hotel. I want to find out who the man in black is. Okay, not a problem. As soon as we can get out of COVID, we'll be over there. Do you have permission for us to go into the pub, Marilyn? You one of the people that work there, or can get permission from someone? Because we'd love to. I grew up.
Is that our Stockton though?
I'm assuming though. I'm assuming.
Hey, Jenny from Ireland. Just from Leith Castle. Oh my gosh, we've been there. That is, Liz, hi from Scotland. Oh my God, I was watching a special on Scotland yesterday and had tears running down my face going, I so want to go back.
Fingers crossed we'll be there September next year. Fingers crossed. We're working on it. All right, so Renata.
Yes, today we are continuing our saga through the alphabet, and we are going through the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness, and we are up to the letter P. So
hasn't it?
Yeah, instead of doing Marilyn, thank you. Yes, awesome. We would love that. Good morning, Debbie from Queensland. So we are up to pee, and instead of doing the paranormal, we thought we would do Pareidolia. Pareidolia, that favourite thing of all ghost hunters, where people see things in the tiniest of little things and go, "It's a demon." So we're going to explore that a little bit today. So we hope you enjoy our little slideshow and the information that we have found for you. Might be a little bit different from the normal information, but that's awesome, because it'll get you all to think about what you are seeing and what people bring to you to show you and go, "Look what I found. There's a demon in my keyhole or in the crack in the bricks outside."
I was getting worried what you were going to say there, because you were just talking about fans only or only fans page, and I'm thinking, which hole she talking about? All right, so share this page with someone, so I think you might like a laugh at a little bit of information. Oh, Jody, you're asking for trouble. All right, so here we go. I'm going to pop the thing up here, and I've just got to get over to where it is. Hit present, and there we go. So you can all see that okay?
Don't you just love this picture? Isn't it gorgeous?
I went hunting for a few more, because I do like my Pareidolia photos. I do. And there we are, the Pareidolia.
That looks like the guy from SpongeBob.
Yes,
what's it?
Exactly. Because I had that little play on words, I had to put the doily in.
Now, people from America may not know what a doily is.
Oh, this is true.
So would you like to fill them in on what a doily is?
It's all right. Well, if I go back to that picture there, you can see that is made from lace. And our grandparents, or grandmothers particularly, used to like to crochet with this very fine cotton and stuff to make lace, and then they would make doilies. So a doily is something that you would place your vase on to protect the wood surface, or like a coaster. I don't know if you call those in America coasters, or you put your coffee cup on it, but it was normally handmade and very pretty out of some sort of form of crocheted lace or something like that.
And it was found on the back of...
They know doilies. They're all good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was found on the back of everything. Everything was covered with a doily, and we just have a laugh, and we call this Pareidolia. Because if you look hard enough, you'll probably see something in a doily anyway. Yeah. So pareidolia is the tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus. Isn't that beautiful? Usually visual, so that one sees an object, pattern, or meaning where there is none. So in layman's terms, it sort of means that our mind, our brain, sees patterns in everything, and that's the way our brain works. That's how we are programmed from the very earliest age. When a baby lays in its mother's arms, it is already connecting with facial features from that mother, so that it can feel safe and secure. So not only does smell come into the whole play of that, because a baby's sense of smell is intense, so it can smell its mother around, but it's also already trying to make sense of patterns. And facial features are probably one of the first things that are so important for a baby to connect with, so it can really see that it is with a carer that is going to be safe with it. We've all had that experience where we're handed a baby, and the moment they look at you, they start to cry, as if they go, "I don't know this person."
Stranger danger.
So this stays with us our whole life, and we are always scanning features to work out whether we are safe in a space or not. And we tend to see things where there aren't things, because our brain doesn't like information that is scrambled. It is always trying to put it in some sort of a box to say this belongs to a face, or this belongs to a tree, or this belongs to words, or whatever it might be. And so if we have something that we're concentrating on that doesn't have a recognizable construction, we're trying to look for something that we can put it in. And of course, ghost hunters, paranormal investigators love to do this with blurred photos.
Yes, and we will be
So,
covering that too.
yeah.
All right, so let's get on there. And look, all our American friends that are in the path of that hurricane or in the middle of the hurricane, you're in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you all stay safe.
Absolutely. So like this, for example, this is a gorgeous one. Isn't it great? So I'm hoping, and look, there might be some people out there who are a little bit challenged with this. Not everyone's brain works the same. So there might be some people who don't see eyes, nose, and a big gaping mouth here in this tree, but most of you might. If you do, just check something in the comments and go, yeah, I can see it. So a thumbs up or a heart or whatever.
I actually put one in at the very end, which it took me a little while to find the face in it, and I know why it took me a little while, but I'll show you that at the end.
Mm-hmm. So the word pareidolia comes from the Greek para, alongside of or instead of, and eidolon, image and shape. So pareidolia is an ancient ability that may have helped us survive in the far distant past, back when we needed to be able to pick out hidden dangers in the landscape. So it is one of those things that has stayed with us from the very, very beginning. So the brain has a tough job. Information from the world bombards you as a mixed up jumble of signals. The eyes take in color, the ears take in sounds, the skin senses pressure. The brain works to make sense of this mess. This is called bottom-up processing, and the brain is very good at it. It's so good that it sometimes finds meaning in meaningless things. Again, all of this is our safety and security valve. It is that thing that always continues to work out whether we are safe or whether we should run away. Oh, they're great pictures, Anne.
Thank you. Once again, lots of faces.
Lots of faces. Yep, lots of faces. Oh, and as you all know, anyone who is on any sort of paranormal site and sees pictures coming up, especially those ones that sort of are very popular with your mainstream public, and people will post photos all the time. And just in case you can't see what you're supposed to be looking at, guess what they put around it? A red circle. So let's give them some examples of those red circles. There you go. So you might be scanning that picture, and it usually comes up on paranormal sites, and they will say to you, can you see it? Or tell me what you see. Or what's strange in this photo? And if you're like me, you'll be staring at it going, oh, is it in that sort of open area, the kind of the doorway, or where the doors to that barn should be? And no, they have kind of taken you to the smallest gap in the photo and gone, look, if I expand this 50,000 times, I'll see a face.
Now, Renata,
So
I'm just going to pop this out for a second because I've realised I've got to give permission for the sound to be heard. So just give me 2 seconds and I'll put that back up. Chrome tab, share audio. There we go. And I should have it back now. There we go. All right, next one.
Okay. This one's a beauty. This one actually came up a couple of days ago, and I decided to take a screenshot. So this is some sort of a tunnel, and you've got a lot of light reflecting everywhere. It's probably been taken with, oh no, maybe not as been taken with a flash. But yet again, they have taken quite some time to look all over this photo and decide that there is something in that left-hand corner. And this time it's a white circle. So it must be really important.
And you can actually see it's a little bit hazy in there, a little bit dusty, can't you?
Mm. And of course, again, can anyone else see a person? That's what they have put. Can anyone else see a person? So they have already loaded your brain with going, okay, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a person. And there, the next slide is 3 more red circles for you. And you go, I've got no idea what I'm looking at. I don't know. So I don't know whether these people are picking these things up psychically, that there is something there, or that they have just scanned this photo so intensely and found some anomaly and gone, okay, what is everyone else seeing?
Now, I put a little video in from some professional ghost hunters here that I thought you might like to look at. Here we go. Oh, hang on. No, that's not the bit I wanted.
Circles around their
right.
Think about people putting red circles or circles around their evidence in photographs.
Look, for me, I think if you're having to put a circle around something, then it's obviously not clear enough, and you just really shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the next episode of Ghost Hunters React. And
sorry, I had to put it in there. Now, how do I get out of that? There we go.
Awesome, that was great.
Thank you.
So the brain also does top-down processing. It adds information to your perception of the world. Most of the time there is way too much stuff coming in through the senses. Paying attention to all of it would overwhelm you. So your brain picks out the most important parts and then it fills in the rest. The vast majority of perception is the brain filling in the gaps. Now, Anne, we had a really good experience of this during the week, or maybe you did actually, with a post that you put up on Facebook.
Oh, yes. I put up a post on my Facebook page, which was, I believe that everyone should be, that the vacation should be compulsory, and if people won't have them, they should be forced. Now, the thing was, many people saw that as vaccinations. And I started to get abuse. I started to get private messages saying, you know, you're taking people's rights. How can you want that? You're being insensitive. And the word was vacation. But because everyone is so programmed at the moment with the vaccination trauma that's going on, that it was an assumption. They glossed over it. Their brain processed it as vaccination. And I got abuse. It was fabulous. I even put the comment up when I put it up. I said, this will be interesting.
Isn't it weird, though? Isn't it funny that, you know, there are lots of people out there who will absolutely, and it kind of also shows that people don't always process information correctly. They will make an assumption and fill a gap in, and often they will then abuse you for it. And you go, what did I do wrong? Oh, I love these ones. So what you see right now isn't what's actually out there in the world. It's a picture your brain painted from you based on signals captured by your eyes. The same goes for your other senses. Most of the time, this picture is accurate, but sometimes the brain adds things that aren't there. And this is the realm of ghost hunting, really, because in most cases what we do is we go out in the dark where our senses are heightened already and our eyes don't see everything because it is dark. And so our brain is on hyper alert, filling everything in that it can through all of our other senses. So again, we can feel safe and secure in our environment.
And thank you to those people who have sent us stars or have sent us things on YouTube. We really do appreciate it. This is our only form of employment at the moment due to the fact we're all locked down and all our tours are cancelled. So we appreciate you guys showing your appreciation.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you so very, very much, guys. Really much appreciated. So Carl Sagan made this claim in 1995 in his book, The Demon-Haunted World, Science as a Candle in the Dark, asserting that it is a phenomenon that results from how our brains interpret light and shadow, sometimes drawing meaning from these features when there are none. He wrote in his book, The Demon-Haunted World, as soon as the infant can see, it recognizes faces, and we now know that this skill is hardwired in our brains. Those infants who a million years ago were unable to recognize a face smiled back less, were less likely to win the hearts of their parents and less likely to prosper.
Ooh. Aren't they awesome? I just love them.
They are great. And of course, that's Carl Sagan's book, The Demon-Haunted World. Must get a copy of that.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting. It's one of those books that I have read.
I'm just going to write that down because I might be able to get that on the thrift books. We'll see if we can get it.
Yeah.
Thoroughly recommend thrift books, guys, if you haven't checked it out yet. I'm getting a nice big library out of that for a couple of dollars a book.
Yeah, it can be on that pile that we all have that say, I will read these. But look, it's actually really good if you come across a really excellent book with great information that can open up people's view on things to actually pass it on and go, hey, this is worth a read. So Pareidolia accounts for the ancient tales of tree-dwelling dryads, trolls who guard gardens and bridges, and stone giants. It's what lets us see shapes in the contours of clouds, find a face on the surface of the moon, and trace the constellations in the night sky.
So I'm just laughing at Patrick. Doesn't the roof look fabulous?
Now, I wonder how many people who would see that and go, that house is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Because already your imagination is going, oh, there are eyes there. That's making me feel uncomfortable. So Pareidolia,
Patrick wanted to make sure we were covering this. So there you go, Patrick.
Pareidolia explains a famous Virgin Mary on a cheese sandwich that sold on eBay for $28,000, and I've got a picture of that. The cornflake shaped like the Statue of Illinois that was auctioned off for $1,350, and even the much-revered Shroud of Turin, which many observers believe reflects the figure of a crucified Jesus Christ.
And this would be what his image is based on in TV and film as well. Oh, there we go. There's the Virgin Mary on some grilled cheese. Not a hoax, look and see. And how much? It's going for what? 99, 999, 9999. Yeah, no.
Yeah, the starting bid was $3,000.
Seriously, surely it didn't go for that much.
It did 28,000, didn't it? I put it up on
99
the.
billion. Was it
Oh,
99 trillion or something?
I guess that's
99
the bid
billion.
that they put up. Yeah.
Somebody's had a bit of a lead pull there. Anyway.
Psychologists note that people with strong beliefs in religion or the paranormal are more likely to see meaning in random data. That's quite interesting. And it would be quite interesting that if you were a tour guide or a paranormal investigator, whether you could ask the people that are looking at these things whether they are or have strong belief, and whether they do tend to see things in images if they're shown. So you show them the same image, you show a believer an image and a skeptic an image, and ask them whether they're seeing anything, and just see what they say. You may find that most of those that are actually strong believers in the paranormal will try and find something in that photo to say there's something there. So faces convey primal information for your social life. This information is so primal that people sometimes find faces in non-face objects. Pareidolia is recognized in healthy humans as young as 8 to 10 months of age. Pareidolia has also been reported to be a phenomenon analogous to visual hallucinations in patients with dementia, with Lewy bodies, and in Parkinson's disease without dementia. So this is when it becomes really, really interesting. You've got two ends of the scale and your brain is sitting there incomplete or malfunctioning and trying still to recognize things it's in environment that sometimes are not there. And pareidolia isn't limited to seeing either. Auditory pareidolia refers to the phenomenon in finding meaning in random sounds, such as the electronic voice phenomena that ghost hunters claim is evidence of spirits speaking from beyond the grave.
Now, this is why when you are showing someone an example of what you think is a ghost voice, you never should say to them, I believe it says this, because once they say, I believe it says, I'm going to kill you, you will only hear, I'm going to kill you. So it's really important that you always listen to someone's evidence without being pre-programmed as what you think it might be. Now, I've got a little sample here of some misheard lyrics from a clip by Peter Kay. The actual clip, it goes for about 15 minutes. This is a shorter one. We won't watch all of it. But he tells you what he thinks it says and then plays you the clip. And that's all you hear, right? So have a listen to this.
Just let me staple the vicar. That's all I'm about.
Just let me staple the vicar.
We're giving love in a femidom.
We're giving love in a family dog. We are family.
You know Duffy the Welsh songstress. Last 3 years I thought that poor cow were begging me for birdseed. Apparently it's mercy. I thought it were birdseed. I'm on karaoke giving it birdseed, bird.
I just love that. Just type into YouTube misheard lyrics, and it will blow your mind how that you can be programmed to hear something completely different.
I love that. I love those misheard lyrics.
Hello, Philippa from New Zealand. Welcome.
Look, it's even worse when your first language is not English, and you are trying to put together from your your knowledge of English the words. That's hilarious. So pareidolia was at one time considered a symptom of psychosis, but it is now seen as a normal human tendency. Scientists have taught computers to use visual clues to see faces and other images. So that's a really good one in that mountain
Yeah,
or
and
in that
there's a
rock.
lot of mountains and rock formations that people will call by that name because they see the face there.
Yeah. So in 1982, George Meek confidently announced to the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., for the first time, we have electronic proof that the mind, memory banks, and personality survive death. And this was banked in 2012. This proof was obtained using a device called a Spiricom, a machine with 13 random tone generators spanning the adult male voice. The Spiricom appeared to provide real-time communication from discarnate spirit voices. So this is going right back to the very beginnings of ITC and electronic voice phenomena.
Yes, and if you look up on YouTube once again, you'll find some clips for that. It's a very robotic voice. But yeah, look up the Spiricom. I think it was debunked, wasn't it? I can't remember.
So that's one of the early Spiricoms. You couldn't actually put that in your pocket and take it to a paranormal investigation, could you?
No. No, we've moved on a little bit from there. We can now have spirit boxes.
Yeah. So the phenomenon Meek and his collaborator William O'Neill observed was nothing new. The first electronic voice phenomena, EVP recording, is alleged to have been made in 1952 by two Catholic priests using a magnetophone. In EVP, voices are usually heard on playback. The newer term, instrumental transcommunication, covers paranormal communication using electronic equipment such as radios, televisions, and computers, and provides instant results. Today, EVP is widely recognized by the public, with many websites devoted to the technique.
I thought Frederick Jurgensen was the first one to discover EVP.
Yeah, he did. This was from a different site that I got this information from.
Yeah, never heard of these pairs.
Sorry?
I've never heard of the two Catholic priests and a magnetophone. It sounds like a joke is about to happen. Two Catholic priests using a magnetophone walked into a bar.
We'll just add that to the list of what two Catholic priests with things can do, I guess.
Yes, well, I'm not going there.
Oh, so this is another one of those instruments that was used.
Another torture device.
Yeah, so really bulky, but standard for that time, considering the equipment that they had. Awesome. So it may seem that pareidolia leads only to silly and sometimes creepy outcomes, but psychologists exploit the phenomena through tests like the Rorschach ink blots, where the shapes seen in random ink spatters are thought to reveal insights into a subject's subconscious. Now, this from a psychological point of view is awesome. Don't show the next one yet, Anne, because our brain is kind of concentrates on the information, and this is really hard to explain, and the way our mind works. So the thing with the ink blots is that if you are in a stable sense of mind, the likelihood is that you won't see anything bad in the ink blots. If you're a true creative, you might find weird and wonderful shapes or things in ink blots. If you are someone who is very flat from a particular characteristic, or doesn't believe in anything, or is really subdued in nature, you might find nothing in those ink blots and say, oh, it's just all rubbish. It's just random shapes. Now, if there is some type of psychopathic tendency sitting there in you, there may be that in ink blots that you are shown, you seem to see things that are quite dark and not nice. So this ink blot test is actually really, really interesting. Thank you, Anne.
Am I allowed to go to the next one now?
Yes, yep. Okay, so what do people see? Now that I've said that, no one will say demon or Mothman. But yeah, put in the comments what you see in that ink blot. If you see anything at all, what pattern is that showing you? So a bat, the bat, Mothman, yeah, moth, a rabbit, a butterfly, moth, or a bat. Well, good to say most of the people that are watching aren't psychopaths, which is really good. Squish emoji. We could sit here with these ink blots, Anne, and really test people.
Of course. But I think we need to move on.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Okay, so Rorschach would show his subjects 10 ink blots, one at a time, and ask them to describe what the images looked like to them. He believed their answers would provide a window into their social behaviour. Although he died in 1922 at the age of 37, Rorschach's ink blot test lives on. So a study conducted in Jiangang Li and colleagues investigated the distinct neural bases of facial recognition.
Distinct
neural bases.
I just wanted you to butcher all the words in there. That was all over the place. It's a study conducted by Jiangang Liu and colleagues investigating the distinct neural faces. Oh my God. Go on. Have a coffee.
Thank you. By using functional magnetic resonance imaging, a network in the brain that fires strictly during face recognition as opposed to letter recognition in their behavioural experiment was discovered and changed the game for facial pareidolia. This area of the brain, called the fusiform face area, plays a big role in both real face processing and illusory face processing. It connects sensory information entering the eyes and being processed in the visual cortex and priming from the prefrontal cortex, thus perceiving the image of a face. So what they're saying is how this image is processed in the brain and how it shoots off in many various directions in a millisecond, so that you know exactly what you're looking at over a very short period of time. What this means is that when we are in a situation in which the distant smudges on a mirror within a reportedly haunted house resembles a face, even though it may not make sense, we are primed to see this face just the way we comprehend a friend's face. So the popularity of reality paranormal investigation on television and movies, such as Ghost Hunters and Most Haunted, supports the growing fascination of the unknown. One can only imagine that the fascination stems from the ability to capture on camera what we cannot fully explain from personal experiences. Maybe going in with the idea that these investigators will collect paranormal evidence has the viewer prepared to hear what they hear and see what they see.
So many faces there.
Yep. Yep.
And like I'm looking at that and I'm seeing them very quickly. I can see the face in every single the mop head just took me a moment, but I think it's only because it's small. But I can see the eyes underneath there now. But yeah.
Yep. So the information the brain possesses from our experiences creates expectations for paranormal perception. In this situation, that a person is exposed to the idea that the noises he or she is about to hear comes from a paranormal source. It is more likely that the identification of a noise will be a significant voice. So in other words, it's like what we're expecting to hear, we will hear. What we're expecting to see, we will see. The brain will go and try and search for it because you have programmed your brain or pre-programmed your brain to go, okay, this is what we're going to be looking at. So you are going to hunt out and see what you can see or hear what I want you to be listening out for, especially if we're in this mind space where we're going, I really need to be a really great paranormal investigator and find stuff, really find stuff.
Show how good I am.
Yeah, show how good I am. Or I am a real fan of this program, and when they say they're seeing a demon, I'm going to see that demon too. So it's like you have given away your ability to think for yourself, and you are in a state of acceptance for all information that comes through. And you're not allowing yourself to process the information that comes through. You're just agreeing with everything that has already been said.
And it's an issue when you're reviewing evidence as well, because when you're reviewing the digital recorders for audio, the investigator will ask a question, did you die here? And you are listening for yes. So you know the answer for that would be yes, because you're expecting a ghost to be there. So you're listening for yes. And so any noise that comes through, your brain is then going to interpret that as the answer you wanted to hear. So that's an issue as well. And this is why when we do the spirit box experiments, we like to use the Estes method, where we put people on headphones so they can't hear the question. Their mind isn't influenced by the question we've asked. So therefore, their brain will interpret whatever they're hearing through the question. And we always start off with the experiment of what cell number are you in, and we put the spirit box going, and people will hear numbers. And I said, now, if you were on headphones and you didn't know that the answer was going to be a number, what would you have heard? So this is why our brain is our biggest enemy. We were going to go to New Orleans Paracon thing that they had down there, and we we're going to do a talk on the deceiving brain, but we'll save that for another time. Anyway, next.
So paranormal and religious believers are quicker to identify a face that is present in an image, and even identify face features that do not exist in an image, along with higher emotionality and face likeness ratings compared to skeptics and non-believers. So this is very, very true. And we see that also with the headphones experiment, where we'll have a stack of people on at the same time, and real skeptics and non-believers, sometimes it's very hard to get anything out of them. They'll just sit there and go, no, I'm just hearing babble. But people who are really into it will process and find information in that noise. It's astoundingly interesting, Anne, that experiment that we do with the groups, and all the groups coming through, and the headphones experiment.
Yep. I love it.
It's just amazing. It's amazing to see what people come up with. So here's another great picture of Pareidolia.
But I mean, is it? Is it an entity that is floating towards them and giving them a hug? Or is it our brain perceiving that as a person because we want to see it as a person? Who knows?
But you're also seeing the shadow close to the camera.
Yep.
If you look at where the shadows are in that picture, it's in front of the person, very close to the lens of the camera. So my idea in that could possibly be that whoever took that photo was breathing heavily. And because we've done these experiments before as well, where we've gone out with cameras and it's been a very, very cold night, and we have really breathed out and taken photographs, and you get some of the most amazing photos that way, but they're just your breath.
What would be more interesting for me is if they had said, if you could appear next to me with your arms wrapped around me in this photo, they take the photo, and then there is that there. That would have been more interesting to me. But once again, you've then programmed your brain to see somebody standing next to you with their arms wrapped around you. So it's like, anyway.
And this is a well-known photograph of a doorway of some old castle or some old building, and that's been interpreted as the form of a monk or something coming out of the doorway.
See, I see a young girl in a white dress with her arms out to the side like that and black joggers on.
Oh, okay.
I don't see a black monk at all. So I'm glad I saw that before you told me what it was. Can anyone else see the young girl there? So if I think you can see my mouse, but that is her arm, her elbow. That is her dress going down to the ground.
Oh yeah. Now that you say that, now that you say that, that's what I see. Yep.
Yep. So I've just programmed your brain to see that. You're welcome.
Yep. It's awesome. That whole image just changed straight away the moment you outlined that. And now I couldn't see that a few seconds ago. That's weird.
That's a perfect example of programming your brain to see what I wanted you to see. All right, next one.
So here's another one. Photo of a ghost at abandoned Scottish site leaves internet spooked. So I guess you can see if you look in the middle of that
red circle. I'm not looking.
Red circle. A face. You can see a face there. So your brain is already going through and using its facial recognition.
And that would just be paving stones at the back of the building. That's what that would be.
Yeah, most probably. So the human brain's tendency towards pareidolia hasn't changed in thousands of years. It's even migrated to the digital world in the form of facial recognition and mapping software. And even computer brains can be fooled by what they see, finding human faces on everything from keys to garage doors and rock formations, just as the ancient humans did. Ultimately, this confirms that you can't believe everything you see or hear and should question absolutely everything. Oh, look at that apple. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
The other one is some sort of iris flower that looks like a bird.
Isn't it amazing?
Now, this is the last slide. Now, this is the one that it took me a little while to find what they were talking about in this, because I have a fear of spiders. So all I could see was the freaking spider, and I wasn't able to see much else there for a little while until they said it's known as the happy face spider or something. And then if you look at it, it's a big red mouth with eyes. And that's a happy face. But my brain is so programmed to fear spiders that I didn't see it for a while. But every other photo I put up, I can very clearly see the faces really quickly. Not this one.
again, so that proves that bias actually does a lot, and that's what I was kind of talking about with the ink blots as well, that your biases with your fears have a big or make a big contribution to what your brain is interpreting when it looks at things.
Mm.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I enjoyed putting that together. I hope you all enjoyed watching that.
I had to remove the spider. I wasn't coping with it. Don't like spiders.
Well, don't look behind you.
No, don't. That's all right. That's Harry. Harry the hairy spider is fine. I don't mind Harry. He's helping me with my fear of spiders. So if you enjoyed that presentation, just give us some hearts or something like that, and that will help the Facebook algorithm, or the particularly those people on YouTube. If you can make sure you have subscribed to our channel, and also give this video a thumbs up. All you have to do is move your mouse up onto the screen. I think it has little dots that come up. You click on the dots, it will come up with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you can give us a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. But that was a lot of fun, Renata. I enjoyed doing that too, finding those little bits of extra things I put in there, and the audio Pareidolia as well. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, that was awesome.
Getting some thank yous coming in there. So we've got about, what was it, 5 minutes left or something? About 7 minutes left. So this is the time that we can actually do a couple of readings for people, unless there's questions. I did see somebody had a question fairly early on, but it was way back in the feed, so I've lost it, and I apologise I didn't write it down. So now with the tarot readings, we have all you have to do is ask a question, and we ask that it's no health questions, and that it is no super personal questions like, should I leave my partner, or is my partner cheating on me? And Renata reads from, what are you reading from today, Renata? The Golden Tarot?
Just the standard Rider-Waite.
Rider-Waite, and that's her tarot cards, where I read from the frightfully good, naughty and nice oracle cards that Renata and I created. There are 40 in a pack, and they are sayings that we've created between us from things that people ask us all the time, and they're blunt, they're to the point. We don't muck around. It's something you need to say to people, but you just can't because you want to be nice to them. So if you've got a question, I'm just going to see if we've got any there. There we are. We've got Erin Foot would like a general reading, please. And we like it if you can be specific with your question rather than general reading, but we won't not do the general readings.
Well, it's a good thing Erin asked for a general reading, because she has the good luck card of the tarot deck. So this is the Nine of Cups. This is your opportunity and your way of looking at the world in a way that involves a lot of gratitude at this point in time, and actually feeling good about where you are with what you have. So we tend to always look for more, because we are in a society that seems to be abounding with the opportunity to have, see and do everything. And sometimes we actually forget to be grateful for what we have, as opposed to what people actually don't have. So be really grateful, Erin, for the things that have come your way up till this point in time. And you will probably find that in doing that, you will have even more gratefulness coming your way.
And mine, make your peace with whatever whatever this problem is. Accept the consequences of the past actions and move on. So this is one of these cards that is trying to encourage you to stop looking over your shoulder at what those things that you've stuffed up and you've made a bad choice, and just learn from it. It's okay. We all make mistakes in life. So learn from it, turn around, put your face to the future, accept the consequences of what went wrong, and start moving forward again. Love from the naughty aunties. All right, we've got Madalena Bellini. I love your name, Madalena. It's just beautiful. Oh, Joshua, if you're not getting, there is a bell and you're supposed to hit the bell to say get notifications. So thank you for subscribing. We really do appreciate that. But if you hit the bell, you should get the notifications. If you're not, if you've already hit the bell, unclick the bell and then re-click the bell and see if that helps.
So back to Madalena and about taking on some voluntary work. That's awesome for you to do. Lots of good juju coming your way because you've decided to take on some voluntary work. The only thing is that it might disrupt your day-to-day activities more than you actually thought, and involve a lot more than you actually thought it would. So just dip into that voluntary work slowly. And it's always better to increase than to decrease, because it's just becoming too much for you. But this Five of Wands sort of also says that you need to take your mind off the job, your day job that you're doing. It may not be satisfying for you. So that's why you've sort of gone to doing something of service in voluntary work, and sort of bless you for that.
This is interesting. All right. So love what you do and do what you love. Find your passion. So maybe
that's
a little bit of, doing a little bit of voluntary work will actually help focus what you love to do and may even lead to new areas for you to work in. But it's always good to start off in a voluntary position with no pressure. So if you make any mistakes, that's fine. But then that might just guide you to where you've got to go. Oh, Maxine, I'm very sorry for the loss of your auntie, gorgeous one.
Oh, sorry, Maxine. Sorry for your loss.
She'd like a card, please, Renata.
Oh, okay.
So this might be a message from your auntie. We're going to ask your auntie to give you a message. Maxine?
So, Maxine, at the moment, because you are surrounded by emotional turmoil, please look towards your partner for some comfort. And you both need to sort of just take a little bit of time out just to sit quietly and just be with each other and just support each other through this particular time. And your partner is a bit of a sort of a rock for you, someone that you can really depend upon, and just be grateful for the fact also that he is there around you at this point in time and can do that for you, Maxine. So yeah, sometimes when we are faced with a great loss, it's actually better just to sort of be on your own for a while and just be in that space of grieving.
And this is just make a choice so you can start moving again. You're stuck in a pile of shit. So I think your auntie is saying to you that you can keep moving forward and you don't need to be stuck in this grief. And I mean, it's important to grieve. It is really important to grieve. But don't be stuck there for too long. Don't wallow in it. She wants to see you live and have a wonderful life, not be stuck in this moment in time.
Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting one. I want to do this one, and this will probably be our last one for the show. What happened to the $1,500 from my bedroom? Sandy, oh, I hope you find it.
Oh,
wow.
my goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, let's see if the naughty cards can help. Can Sandy's team, I've got goosebumps. Oh, Sandy's team, come forward, please, and give her some insight as what has happened to this money. Oh.
This is a judgment card. So I think that someone has helped themselves to this and they are kind of paying you back in a very bad way, in that there may well be a sense of you deserve to not have that. So yeah, it's definitely been taken, Sandy.
This one's hard to interpret. I think that they're saying that whatever you were going to use that money for, you have to wait. So you may want it now, but the universe has different plans. Take a seat, chill out, and be patient. So maybe it will be revealed who took the money. Just have a look around to see who might have a little bit of extra cash. Don't assume that's who it is, though. But the universe is telling you just to be patient and wait, and I think it will be revealed to you. Anyway, that if you want to buy those cards, you certainly can. We sell them to Australia and America at the moment. We can send to another country. You just need to send us a message and we can organise to get that shipping. It's around about 25 Australian dollars internationally. And Australia, it's $10. The cards are 25. And we would really love it if you want to buy some. Oh, there you go. Madalena said, thank you. Really appreciate it. You got it spot on, looking at changing a more creative, art-based career. And Sandy says, thank you. Maxine says, thank you. So, guys, that's us for this week. We will be heading off. We've got to do some recordings now for the radio station that we work with. Spooky Sunday. Hint, hint. But, yeah, stay safe. Stay away from the Rona. Thank you for joining us and thank you for supporting us. And Renata?
We'll see you on the dark side and next week.
All right, bye, everyone.